Can we toast? I feel like we have to toast right now. And it has to be LaCroix.
Yeah.
Has to be
This is
LaCroix.
absolutely wild.
I am capable of toasting.
Alrighty.
Guys,
Let me make it, asshole.
I was going to toast to you.
Pals, being pals.
I was going to toast to you. No, it's fine. You fucking got it.
You follow me up. What's happening, pals, new and old? I'm your host, Parker Reil, and this is the very first episode of the PALS podcast. Oh no!
Oh, God, please, no.
What have we created?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so this is actually happening. I did not know that it would feel like this. All day today, I was so fucking nervous. I was like, okay, we got to get the graphic ready. We got to get everybody ready. We got to get Ethan over here so we can set up this sound. These boxes, they need undid. This table had to be built.
Yeah,
You built everything from scratch.
With my hands.
Yeah, we came down here. We soldered audio components together.
We did do that.
We wired cables just for this.
The smell of burnt hair.
Yeah, we
baby.
made the rubber somehow.
Oh, yes.
Put the wires together.
So, all these voices that you're hearing, let's go through them one by one. The man to my left.
Hello, I'm Ethan Grafton, friend of Parker. Sorry, pal of Parker.
There you go.
There it is.
Audio wizard.
He is the wizard. Ethan is a very good friend of mine. He's been good to me ever since I met him last year.
Aw.
He's the soundiest of the sounds. The
Yes.
wizard, if you will.
Yes, I am very good at audio, which is why it took me over an hour to set up 4 microphones recording into a computer. I'm very good at this. Thank you.
Yes, I'm so glad you're here. You know, I originally asked Ethan, I was like, Ethan, I'm going to need some help setting this up. And then I was like, you know what? There's nobody that needs to be on this shit more than Ethan Grafton. So past him is a good buddy of mine.
Oh, wow.
You know, he and I, wow.
We go way back.
Do we?
Sorta. Not really.
This is my
like
good
a year.
friend, Mitchell Kennard Francis.
It's pronounced Mitchell Kennard Francis. Follow me on Instagram and
Yeah,
Twitter.
that's
At
the
Mitchell
plug.
Kennard Francis.
God,
Listen,
kill me.
You introduced
Twitter.
him and he plugged himself.
At Twitter.
Already.
At Twitter. At Mitchell Francis. No. Listen, Parker and I, it's sort of a joke that I say we go way back, but it kind of feels that way at times. We go back to last year when we met freshman year of college, but he's a good friend of mine, and he invited me on the very first episode, which I am incredibly honored, and I want him to know that.
It's just kind of a shit show right now.
Well, listen, I'm having a good time, so.
I am too. And it's like one of those things where you feel like you've known people for so much longer than you like actually have. That's how I feel about this group.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where you feel like you know someone, but then turns out they're like a psychopath.
Is that how I'm supposed to feel about you, Ethan?
No, I'm just.
The news headlines tomorrow are man and 3 friends joined suicide pact because they knew each other.
Man named Ethan Grafton.
Never mind on this whole joke.
And last but certainly least, we have our good pal.
Certainly least, yes.
The trombone of them all, and what some would call my film husband, even though that is, I don't know, not true in any case, Eli Hoefer.
Hello. Eli Hoefer here.
Hey guys.
Film husband of Parker. Great pal. Met him last year.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Do
On
you remember?
Instagram at Eli Hoefer.
Do you remember the first time we hung out?
First time we hung out, we
It
saw
was a very special moment,
one of the greatest film of last year.
or of all time.
One of the greatest of all time. Blade Runner 2049.
So just a total screw.
Beautiful time.
Do you mean that? Now here's the deal. I don't completely disagree. I liked it. I just want to know.
It was my favorite movie of last year.
Okay.
Now here's the deal, folks.
wow.
For those playing along at home, this is a round table full of
Men.
that and film kids who think that they know what they're talking about. So it could get hairy. So, pals.
It could, but we're going to try to avoid that at all costs.
We are,
This
we
first
are.
episode.
Hello, pals.
This is the Pals
Eli
podcast.
and I disagree
On many things.
vehemently on many things.
It's all right,
and,
though. We're still great pals.
that we are. You guys can't see it, but we're gonna shake hands here.
So for those playing along, this can easily be a drinking game for you. That whenever someone says the word "pals," you take a small sip of your beverage,
or just a huge sip, whatever you want to do.
Just a shot.
Just take a shot.
I can see my mom. She's at home with a big bottle of tequila, just taking shots.
When I taste tequila.
Little note though, if anyone says a word that's synonymous with pals but is not pals, like buddies, friends, etc., you have to somehow remove a shot of alcohol from your body.
It's like that Shakespeare where they would like try to get rid of a pound of flesh from this guy, Merchant in Venice.
And then if someone says pals being pals, the full thing, you finish your drink.
Oh, that's spicy.
We can't throw that in too many times.
Yeah, I'm kidding. I mean, we are just pals being pals. But
All right, here we go.
That's already twice.
In case you couldn't tell by the first however long this has been, this show is probably not safe for work. This is an NSFW.
You really had to think about that.
I did, thank you. Thanks for pointing it out. So if you are a small child or you work in a place where you listen to things out loud, don't.
No children are working allowed.
Listen to this on your own time or when you're past children age.
Yes, wait until you're 13.
Yeah, is that children age?
What's the age that Facebook allows you to make an account? 13?
I think 13.
Wait till you're 13.
Wait till you're 13.
Facebook wants everyone. Facebook is evil.
I profiled as a 1994 or a man that was born in 1994 for the longest time. Like I think I just changed it last year.
That's weird.
I was just like, I was like, I've been attached to this random birthday for so long.
Here's the thing. My mom didn't let me make a Facebook account until I was old enough, so my birthday has been correct the whole time.
Same dude.
So, like we said, this is the PALS podcast, and so what this is kind of is just that's the topic of today. That's what we're talking about. Is what is PALS?
What is a friend?
We're gonna define the word pal.
So I've asked these guys here today to not only be on the first show, but to ask me some questions. Like ask me what it is I'm doing, why I wanted to start this, whatever they've got up their sleeves. I have no idea what they're gonna ask.
Where did you get your sweater?
Well, we'll talk about that. I'm a little nervous. Hopefully Mitchell can stick to the topic. Doubt it. Press X for doubt. So that's what we're talking about. The rest of the shows, like later down the line, we'll bring a topic in. Maybe it's Judge Judy, and everybody, for example, and then everybody brings in a question or like a small little topic, a little info nugget about Judge Judy, and we go from there. So that's how this show works. This is the PALS podcast. So let's just get right into it. So, who's got a question?
Eli has one.
Eli
I can see it.
definitely has a question.
But
I also have a question, but the first question I want to ask is probably not the first question that should be asked.
Great, let's wait. Eli.
Eli, go ahead.
So I have one that's just a general, like, overall for, like, everyone.
About
just a
this?
general, like, yeah, like, what's made you the most excited for this project?
Oh, wow. You guys go ahead. I'll answer last.
Oh, God. Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
And I can answer it, too.
Okay.
I hope you can answer your own question.
Oh. Is it my turn?
Go ahead,
Yeah, it can be your turn.
Okay. Why was I excited to come here today? Well,
Got you out of the house.
that's part of it. But mostly, I don't know, everyone seemed really excited, and, you know, everyone was ready to I don't know, the excitement that, like, surrounded this project I found very intoxicating. So I just dove into it, and it was nice to be able to set up some microphones for
sure.
Do something very easy, but fool you into thinking it's difficult.
They got you.
And yeah, big gotcha moment. But yeah, I don't know. It was a great excuse to come set up some sound, and now I get to talk to my pals.
It was a shot.
Take a shot.
It was a shot.
Go ahead,
It's
Mitch.
my turn?
Yeah.
I think the thing that got me most excited about this project was seeing all the hard work that Parker put into it. When he first told me about it, I was sort of apprehensive, but then I saw all the hard work. Well, okay, listen, let me explain myself. So the first, like, time you brought it up to me, you sort of talked about it ambiguously, and I didn't really understand much about it at the time.
That's me.
And so I wasn't really thinking about it at that point. But then I would come in to the Ross every single day and see him working on either the design of the logo or buying equipment or something along those lines.
Watching that bank account drain.
Glug,
And
glug.
I saw all the things that he was investing into it, and that made me really excited. And the more he articulated his ideas and was talking about it and explaining it to me, the more on board I became with it. Wow. And now it's to the point where, like,
this is actually happening.
I can't wait to see it take off. Like, I'm excited. And
Parker, you're an inspiration.
Oh, wow. Eli, what's your answer to the question?
Extremely similar to both of those answers. You brought this up and you were so excited about it, and I just knew you were going to get this up and running because of how driven you are. And just how whenever you get so excited about a project, I love seeing you get to the point where it's done, and I knew it was going to get there, and I'm so excited to see where it takes off, and I'm so thrilled to be on the first episode.
You guys,
listen, this whole podcast is just going to be us gassing Parker the whole time.
What was it? Gas and slash? Throw. So I kind of want to like answer like each of your guys' like thoughts and then like respond myself. It's really like interesting that. What are you staring at the microphone for? You're very intensely looking at.
Sorry,
he's
looking at your pretty mouth.
The sound.
My eyes are magnetically attracted to sound. Why are you staring at the mic? I'm sorry. You continue.
So I think it's really interesting that you say that this whole thing is like felt really intoxicating. And I really do think that it's because of the energy that came behind it, and it's not really all from me, but it's from other people, which is whack. Because like I'm excited for it, like I've wanted to do this for a while, and I know that I needed to do this, but just seeing people be like, "Hey, so can I be on the show like just once?" And I was like, "You only want to be on it once? What if you're like come on all the time?" Like, okay, sure. That's just it makes at the end of the day it makes me feel good because that means that this might actually be a project or an end product that is worth listening to. Knock on wood.
This fake Walmart wood.
Listen.
Shout out Walmart for this table.
Non-sponsored though.
Well,
not
by the
sponsored.
way, our sponsor today is the Walmart Trucking Company.
It's actually Walmart, but not the supercenter, the supermarket.
Oh.
Just the market.
Buy your tomatoes from there.
They are a tomato market.
Tomato-based market, yes.
To address you two specifically, it just really means a lot that you guys think that I work hard and
Wow, it's so great that you think I'm good.
that you think that I work hard and that you knew that would happen. Like I haven't had something that I can like attach to and be as excited for since high school, and it's felt like there's been this kind of like this empty vessel.
Sphere.
Yeah.
Sphere. It's a sphere of fear.
Sphere of fear.
And I needed this. I really need this, and it's just so exciting to have you guys all here. And so to answer your original question of like what are you most excited about? Is that what?
Yeah.
I'm just excited for people to come together with this. It's not even at the end of the day about like me or how this like takes off or anything, but I just want people to have something that they can like assimilate towards, if that's the right word. Just kind of like really get in there and just enjoy this show, the people that are on it, pay attention to these weird storylines of whatever the hell happens on this. And so like for me, I'm most excited about what people get instead of like what I'm doing. Like the stuff on the back end, yeah, it's hard. Like I've done more Photoshop in the past 2-3 weeks than I would have cared to admit. And I have talked with Ethan a lot about all this sounding things.
We talked money. It was very scary.
He sat me down and said, "Listen, baby, I don't know what you want, but here's what you're gonna get."
I said, "Here's the deal. How much are you willing to spend?"
And he said, "Is zero an option?" He said, "Everything I have."
Yes, we're all gonna sit around your phone, and you're gonna do a voice memo, and we're gonna speak into it.
That sounds good to me.
That's the $0 option.
That sounds like the dub track for Harmon. Isn't that how we did that?
Well, that's how one of them did it. Yeah,
but it worked though, right? So it could happen.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Well,
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
So, Eli, that was a really good question. Thank you.
I have a
Mitchell.
follow-up
you.
question.
Oh, here he comes.
Actually, no, it is genuinely a follow-up to like the latter portion of your answer. So my first question was, who is the PALS podcast for?
Oh,
It's very smart.
The
A fine
demographic.
question.
Demographic.
Well, hopefully it's not just for, I don't know. I want it to be for anybody. I mean, like, yeah, the people in our school and the Johnny Carson school of nobody knows what's going on, it's gonna, like, people from there are gonna listen, but I want people that know you guys or me or anybody to just, like, take a listen to it, and
Tag
then
along.
maybe they can connect with you more, or like have something that you can like have in common. Like for me, there's this podcast that I listen to. Just pause for burp, excuse me. And I find it so interesting and so amazing when a random friend of mine also listens to that same podcast, because I'm just like, do you remember that one episode where Greg took his shirt off and was running around the office? And they're like, that's my favorite one. And so stuff like that, like, I'm going to keep my shirt on today. I mean, I don't make any promises for tomorrow, but I want it to be for people so that way they can connect with each other.
My favorite episode of this podcast
Is the first
this
one?
I decree that this will be a shirtless podcast.
All right. Let's go.
So when we get the first like actual females on here, they're going to be like, listen. Or they might be cool. I mean,
Here's
I
the
don't
thing.
know.
I know plenty of people who would be perfectly okay with that, regardless of gender.
Wonderful. That's a good question though, Mitch.
I think to tag along on like why I think this is gonna be so good is it's so broad and
Yes.
like it's and for podcasts I think that's such a good thing because you're not hitting just this like niche little demographic of these people listen to this one specific thing. This is just it's like a talk show, so it's
Yeah.
like people can come have fun listening to some people talk. And it's some things are gonna be specific to like us, but it'll go over a wide area. I think
Yeah.
there will be so many things that people will be able to connect
I think
to.
so too. And go ahead, Ethan. You're ready to speak.
Are we going to talk about current events?
Is that one of your ideas?
Welcome to
Yes.
the PALS podcast, where we only talk
This is
about
this
current
is
events.
We
this
just
is
turned
N-
into NPR.
No.
this is NPR National PALS
Parker
Radio.
Radio.
PALS Radio.
It's the NPR
Today in the
version
news.
part of PALS.
Ethan Grafton.
Killed
Had a
his
LaCroix.
3 friends.
I did have a LaCroix. It was very tasty.
I saw you looking. He was looking in the box for another one.
If I'm being honest, lemon, not my favorite
What?
flavor of LaCroix. No.
Wow, what is?
Probably like, if I'm being honest, it's orange.
Oh,
It's
okay.
strange. A lot of people think it's kind
No, I
of
like
bland.
it.
I like orange a lot.
So, disclaimer: we're all drinking LaCroix.
Everyone here has lemon LaCroix.
Back to our second sponsor, LaCroix. LaCroix. Ethan, do you
listen.
have a question?
Ooh, he has a question.
Well, I guess more. Okay, so generally speaking, I kind of touched on this with you earlier, but just for those listening,
The listeners.
what will the format be for this podcast?
Thank you.
Generally,
Yeah. So generally, what we'll do is we'll bada bing, bada boom, start up the show. We'll just kind of play around. We'll do some intros, just a little bit of talk going on, and then I'll introduce the subject matter for the day. And then what will proceed to happen is my grandfather, a beautifully, wonderfully, amazingly man named Buck, is making me a like spinning prize wheel, like, you know.
What
like,
are you saying?
No, hold on, can I vouch for you for a second? So I've met this man that they call Buck. No. I met this man they call Buck. And
He's a badass.
he is a badass. He does like metalworking and things like that for the military, and there's things and projects he's working on that he can't even talk about because they're like classified.
So my grandpa owns a very small machine shop in Ogallala, Nebraska, where I'm from, called Precision Machining. If you know anybody that's looking to buy a shop store like this. The man's been trying to retire for years. Please help.
Shout out our sponsor, Precision Machining.
Who knows? They could end up actually being a
Yeah,
sponsor.
honestly, dude, I bet he would. Ooh, I'm gonna call him. So anyway, but yeah, he does all these. He goes from making cattle prods in the fall to working on parts for planes and rockets or something in the spring and the winter. I've asked him several times what his military contracts are, and he refuses to say. He's just like, they will shoot me. Like,
It's illegal for him to talk about
He
it.
just says grenades.
so many grenades.
You ask him, you're like, Grandpa, what do you make with the military? And then you just hear a pin from a grenade.
Let me show you, Sonny. So, anyway, he's making this prize wheel that I want to attach everybody's question to about the general topic. And so that way, when we spin it, that'll just to kind of assign who's going first. It's a fun little bit.
Okay, so the idea is you propose a topic for that
Yes.
for that episode, and then everyone brings material
About
related
the
to that.
topic.
So we know
that's
of
fun.
the
That's
topic
fun.
beforehand.
Exactly.
Okay.
Theoretically.
Are you gonna reveal the topic at the end of the episode preceding it?
Well, not for today's episode,
Yes.
Obviously.
but yes, for the next one, for sure. And
So,
I think...
for those playing along at home, we are learning this as you are right now.
and that's the thing. Is
That's amazing.
I think it's important for everybody to know that I don't know what I'm doing, and that's okay. I'm not like, this is not some NPR show. This is just
Super scripted.
so. This is pals being pals. You know,
Finish your
Pals
drink.
being pals.
So wait, this script that I have in front of me that says Ethan, and then the line that I'm saying right now, I should throw that
Yeah,
in.
get rid of that shit.
Okay,
You don't need it.
we are now off script, and I'm very scared.
Oh no!
I hate ad-libbing.
So then,
Improv.
so then,
Blah, blah.
listen. For those at home, there was a 5-minute take of just us making gunshot noises.
And roll the clip.
You
And roll
know,
it.
once you get to about the 5th audio test, you run out of material to say.
So then what'll happen is, I'll kind of answer the questions, we'll bullshit around, and honestly, guys, once the train leaves the station, I make no guarantees that it returns with any wheels or any passengers.
Sounds great.
Nobody is safe.
That's fine. Yeah.
And I think as time goes on, we'll come up with fun little gags, little bits. We're all looking at the monitor. Is it okay?
Oh, it's looking great. I was
Yeah.
just, first time.
first time jitters.
It's the first time for everything.
I'm on a first date, kind of nervous.
First podcast, kind of nervous.
You're telling me. So this is nothing serious. This is just us, a bunch of pals being pals.
Finish your drink again.
We're out of drinks.
We are.
Here's the
Not any
thing.
more
If
Croy.
you're listening at home playing the Pals podcast drinking game,
Careful.
be careful, please.
Don't do it for this one.
First of all, don't do it at all.
Just 100%
This
joke.
just in: church ladies in Ogallala, Nebraska, are interestingly intoxicated. So, I'm ready to ask you, chickenlings,
I'll answer
a question.
questions.
Okay, cool. So, when you, I have several. Sorry, they're floating around in this old brain cube of mine. Voice crack. Mitchell has talked to me several times about thinking long term and thinking big picture, because I don't like to do that. I like to just focus on the here and the now, and then because I've gotten burned in the past with getting too excited too fast.
Very similar to that. Yeah.
But
That's why
I'm
we're
gonna,
friends.
I'm gonna break my form and
Break
let's
his form.
Yeah. So someday, and we kind of talked about this before, and it can be either a joke and it can be serious. This let's say PALS, this parent company of whatever shows the PALS are doing. Let's say this blows up. Give me your wildest kind of aspirations for PALS.
Okay. It wins a Streamy for best podcast. That's a category, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know what
yeah,
the Streamies
no,
are?
it is. It is.
I'm almost positive
For
that's,
sure it is.
that's a category
No,
at the
yeah.
Streamies.
Because
Do you even know what
podcasts, they
I'm talking
need
about,
some.
Parker?
No, I've never heard of the
So the
Streamies.
Streamies,
They're real.
It's like internet awards.
yeah,
real.
it's internet awards. Like for best YouTube channel, best podcast,
Of the
best
year.
yeah.
Or like most
sexiest
like so like they have
podcaster.
a lot of stuff of like most progress over a year.
Oh,
Like,
Yeah.
so
Things
like if you
but they have
suck and then you don't.
Yeah, but I know I'm almost positive they have a podcast category.
yeah. Or several categories,
Yeah.
honestly, because like there's probably like.
But
Some,
you can win a streamy, and that's pretty big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, Ellen is always something.
Dude, Ellen.
Ellen is always something to
Ellen,
strive
hi.
for.
This is PALS CEO Parker Reil. I was wondering if you'd be interested in flying out to my basement to record a show.
I was more so saying,
it's a double. You go. She comes here.
Oh,
okay.
no, we
Yeah.
record an episode of PALS on the Ellen Show.
Ah.
That's some Inception shit right there.
See, that's wild. I was mostly just talking about like Ellen like bringing you on, and then like somebody in like a spooky mask jump scares you.
No,
and,
I
like,
hate that. I'm so scared all
like
the time.
like Ellen sends you through a haunted house.
Oh, I hate it when she does that, but it's funny because she's always laughing.
I've seen one episode of Ellen in the last like 2 years, and it was one where someone got sent through a haunted house.
It happens every show,
And
whether
you know
it's
what?
Halloween or not.
It was funny. It was good. Good
comedy.
work, Ellen. Shout out Ellen, our sponsor.
What is that?
Back
Four
to the
sponsors in
third
like 20
sponsor.
minutes.
So, Ethan, what do you like to see?
Yes, I'd like to win a Grammy, please.
Oh, easy.
Yes, I would like to
Grafton
win
specifically.
best. Let's see, newest rising star. Is that a Grammy?
I think so.
And I would like to also win best free jazz recording.
Are you even talking about PALS anymore? Or
jazz.
No,
yourself?
this is me. I would like to personally win that, but I'm going to leverage PALS to get there.
So what you're gonna do is when you're sitting down with the Grammys, because we all know that
When I'm sitting with Ellen, yes.
next
okay.
to Ellen at the Grammys,
In the haunted house.
you slide a $5 bill across the table, and you say, "Listen, Grammys."
Hello, Grammys. I would like you, please.
But only if PALS can be mentioned 75 times in the show.
Yeah.
And then for those watching the Grammys and also playing our drinking game, after the 75th time, there's a spike in alcohol poisoning and hospitals are shut down across the country. That's my dream.
Hospitals are shut down.
that Turk.
That is, are you like a super villain? Like, yes, with my podcast, hospitals will never happen again.
These are your wildest aspirations. This is like your long-term plan for the
Bro,
podcast
all I
is to
said
shut
was
down all
Ellen.
hospitals.
You're talking about killing people, bro.
No, they don't have to die. They don't have to die. Nobody has to die. Just be.
Do you know what alcohol poisoning is?
Well, they don't have to die.
No,
I mean,
It's very
just-
bad for you.
It's
Anyway,
not good. We don't support it here.
my answer is Grammys, and we can move on.
Is there a podcast category at the Grammys?
There's like a voice recording category that I don't know if podcasts are included in it, but they do like books on tape. I might be remembering this wrong, so I'm sorry.
They have like Grammy for like everything.
Surely
they
they're gonna-
They have like comedy album.
Don't they have a
got, like,
Grammy? That'd be funny if they had like a Grammy for best music video.
Obama has a Grammy, I'm pretty sure, for
what?
like some
There is a Grammy
weird,
for best music
Is there a
video. Isn't
Grammy for best music
Like
video?
some
pretty
I was
sure.
mostly saying that as like an ironic thing, like a video
Yeah.
wins a Grammy, but that would actually
funny,
sort
you're
of
trying to
make
be a
sense.
jokester.
But no, I'm pretty sure Obama like has a Grammy for some reason.
Obama has a Grammy.
A lot of
Yeah.
people have Grammys.
Yeah.
That's-
Well, I mean,
That's fact.
Obama,
They
they
hand
just
them out
gave
every
him
year.
everything. They were like,
That's
Obama, do you want an award? You did good things? Here you go. Grammy.
He
we need a
did.
fact
Oscar.
checker on this thing too.
Well, you need a. I'm going to fact check you.
Fact check me.
He did do good things.
Fact-
My aspirations for this show. I'd love to see this show like hit them big markers, 5 million subscribers on YouTube,
Jesus.
stuff like
What
that.
about 5 million?
in the next
100?
couple of years, I think that's pretty
Next
cool.
couple of years?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I would like to see in the next 5 years 20 followers. 20 followers.
Dude, I will make 20 Gmail accounts just for that.
That would 5 years we like check back on him. We're like, Parker, how many followers do you have? And he's like, oh, I've got 21.
I like-
We look at the followers. It's like Parker Reil 1, Parker Reil 2, Parker Reil 3.
I like
Reil
Grafton's
69.
I like Grafton's hits of Grammy 20 followers.
Big jump
There
there.
is no in between.
I want to achieve them both.
Why not at the same time?
Which one comes first though?
Probably
Grammy.
the Grammy. You know, people are drawn in.
And then that Grammy gets you that one extra follow. You'll be at like 19 followers for so long,
God,
and then
yeah.
that Grammy
And then
will
winning
hit,
the Grammy,
and then you'll
yeah.
hit that 20th follower.
And never again do
And
we
that's it.
post. Never again do we make anything. I burn all the equipment.
delete all the accounts.
So I'm going to be selfish here. For me, my biggest dream for this podcast. Oh my God! Wow, Parker, how do you answer your own question? I don't know. I think when I started this, I really had in mind that I just wanted people to, at the end of the day, walk away feeling slightly zazzier than when they started the day.
What does that mean?
It means it's a cinnamon.
Put a pep in someone's step.
No one says that.
Put a rock in someone's shoe, you know.
Wait, what? That's just evil.
Well, we have decided I am the mastermind.
What if like walking around with a rock in your shoe is like someone's fetish? Then that would be
Stop.
something.
Oh,
Okay.
that's weird.
That would be something fun.
Mitchell
We
was-
went to a place, and that's not where we should go.
Mitchell revealed his darkest secrets on the PALS
Guys.
podcast.
Don't judge me.
It's episode 1, Mitch.
Save it for 10, bro.
Parker, back to you.
Yes, so on a little bit of a more serious note, I mean, you guys know, and I think most of the original listeners, people, if they're already listening to this thing, know that this like podcast came out of a really dark.
Excuse me. I had to pour some Croy.
Wait, whose Croy is that?
It was mine.
Nobody
Can I have
knows
some
the
Croy?
cans,
Finish it
folks.
off.
The cans
Parker,
are
I
everywhere.
feel like I cut you off at
You're
a bad
fine, baby.
time.
You're fine, buddy.
Continue.
Dad, you're fine. So, really, you gotta do that.
I think
That's
you know.
just so weird. So, this podcast came in a very dark place. About a month ago now. Towards the end of October, early November. I was in a very. I just got the ghost of Jesus is here. It's a very cold draft. It's weird. It came out of a very dark place. I was very kind of depressed and feeling very lonely, and just kind of realized a lot of things about myself. And after a very, very bad day, the next day I woke up and did the last Cardoc Live radio talk show, this horribly dangerous show where I would get on Instagram Live and drive.
But it was so much fun.
Wow, it was a good time. I was
tuned
on
in-
it
I
once.
think
It was
I
fun.
think I tuned into at least
everyone.
At least 90% of them.
Wow. So the
I
true
think I might have
fans.
missed one.
I was in there for most of them as
Yeah.
well.
So anyway, I loved doing that, and so after my big fucking mental breakdown, I did one of those, the very last one, because I made a promise to myself that I was gonna do something for me. Like I knew that I needed to love myself and like care about myself, because I learned importance. Didn't know that before, and so I decided that it's time to do something like that. And the very first thing that I thought of, and I had thought about this back in June when things were starting to slide down the slippery slope, that a show or a podcast or a YouTube channel was the way to go. And so when I did that Cardoc Live, I had no idea. Didn't know what exactly it would be, but I knew that I had to do it. And the response that I got from that was really monumental. There was a lot of people that were texting me saying, hey, I've been battling a lot of the same issues, and I didn't know if life was going to get any better. But seeing you take that first step and like putting your voice out there, like really changed my mind about a lot of things. And a good friend of mine, I won't name his name, but he was like, I'm going to write the book. Like this book that he's talked about for years. He was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to write the book.
We started this podcast saying you are an inspiration, and no joke, you are an inspiration.
But I don't want to be like seen as that. I'm just this guy doing this thing because I want to, because I
no,
want.
and that's great. It's great.
Yeah.
It's always the things that people create and start for themselves that become successful.
Yeah.
Whereas like people who create things to try and become successful, usually that's not the avenue to take.
Correct.
Unless if you're Jake Paul.
Jake Paul.
Also, I'm glad that you don't want to be seen as an inspiration because I think you're a fucking joke. What up?
That definitely clipped and I loved it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, long story short, I just want, no matter what happens, at the end of the day, if one little Ziggler can be a little bit more ziggy, that's all I want. That's it. So yeah,
I think that's very, very respectable.
it's gonna be cool. I'm gonna get to
It is
sit.
gonna be cool.
I'm gonna sit down here with 3 to 4 little Cruslers like you and just see what the fuck happens for.
Well, only 3 because you only have 3 other microphones.
But I'm also one of those Cruslers. I count
You
myself in
count
the third person.
Okay.
Who's got something? Who wants to know about this little biddy?
Yeah, we're still in defining the cast time.
Defining
the company.
That's this whole thing, right? This whole one tonight is just defining this.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool.
We're at the 38-minute mark.
Thank you, Mitchell.
Wow,
Already
time
wow.
crazy. Time
Time
flies when you're blasting off.
When you're making audio.
with pals.
Who's got another one?
Hanging with the pals.
While they're thinking, I want to kind of talk about what PALS means for me because it.
Yeah, smart.
Please tell me it's an
That
acronym.
was
it
honestly that
is.
was gonna be one of my questions. I ain't
Someone.
kidding.
Okay, so I posted to Instagram that we were recording this,
Shoot.
and
Instagram.
someone jokingly did the SpongeBob meme of
Oh God, we're
what
a meme?
does PALS stand for already?
Oh no! I forgot that was
P
a
is
thing.
for friends who do stuff together.
So PALS, this has been hard because originally it wasn't an acronym, and I was like, it's just fucking PALS. Like, calm down. You don't need an acronym for everything, Mom.
Yeah, Mom. That's Shelly.
And then Shelly was like, listen, son. I was like, okay, fine.
And then Hunter told you the same thing.
Hunter told me, and then Ruse Bay, and just several people were like, what does it mean? I was like, all right, well, maybe it has to mean something, I guess.
It means friends, Bruce Bay. Stay away from me.
Get away.
Get off my podcast.
We
So
love
what
you,
I
Ruse
decided is it, and it was.
He thought it was funny.
He did enjoy those jokes.
The reason I'm sorry, I'm talking to Eli silently. PALS to me, because of I got on this whiteboard and decided to just write out the letters PALS and then come up with a shit ton of words underneath it of whatever it could be. And it was like one was like producing awkward live shrimp and just weird things like that. But I think what we've come to the conclusion of, because it fits everything, is producing awesome life stuff.
That's fine.
It's wide,
It's adequate.
it's weird, and it totally fits the persona of like me in this whole stupid idea. Because it's just, we're gonna sit here, we're gonna do a podcast producing. Awesome, because we're awesome.
Spot on. Are you sure?
Sometimes we talk about life, and at the end of the day, this is all just a bunch of stuff.
Alternate idea. People all like sauce. Thoughts?
Well, fuck
Wait. Parker, can I tell the story from last night in the car? If
Yes,
we're talking
actually,
about the
yeah,
acronym.
do it.
So, Parker and I were in the car driving. I can't even remember where
Walmart.
We were going to Walmart
To buy this table.
To buy the table. Wonderful. And we were going there and we were talking about the acronym, and I heard him say it the first time. He said
Producing awesome
live stuff, and that's how I heard it.
Live. I said live.
Well, you said live. So basically, when he said it, I heard life stuff, and I'm like, that's actually kind of sick. I like that. And then I said it back to him,
And I was like, what?
And he was like, no, you're wrong,
And
idiot. It's live stuff. Producing awesome live stuff.
And then I was like,
Dumbass.
wait,
And I said-
maybe you
and I
know
said-
what you're talking
well,
about?
I said, Parker, that doesn't make any sense. We're not recording this. Like, this isn't a live show. And also, life stuff sounds way cooler because
That's
it's
it.
just
That's all
more.
it
It's
is.
more encompassing.
Yeah.
It's life stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that's basically what we're
We're just
talking about on the
life.
show.
We're just chilling.
And he looked at me and he was like, "You've done it. You've done it to them."
Gentlemen, we got
So,
it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
So actually, I named this show, and I'll take a 5%
my
royalty for the rest of my
God.
life.
listen, the second this show makes money, I'll be sure that you don't get a goddamn dime.
That was rude.
Grafton's getting it all because he's doing all the sound.
There
He
you
was
go.
the one who wins the Grammys. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just teaching this guy
Yeah,
how to
he's-
do it.
I-
I'm out of here
Yeah,
after
he's like-
this.
He's like, I'm one and done. I'm never on this
Yeah.
show again. So yeah, that's what PALS stands for. So you little Kreslers got any questions now? You had some time to think or talk. Wow.
What?
Great.
What a.
Well, okay, we've gone over the format. We've gone over the guests. We've gone over why this is happening.
What are your general ideas to spice every other episode up with just some different things to be
Perhaps the worst question I've ever heard. Sorry.
In your mind, how do you envision giving spice and life to your own podcast?
Fuck up, Eli.
And now we talk about our fourth
What general
sponsor.
ideas do you have?
Well, okay. So I came up with this bit right before we started the show that I decided we couldn't do, but it's called "What's That Smell?" Because I found this very old 5-hour energy in my backpack, and I opened it up, and it did not smell the way it started. It was apple pie, and it smelled more like apple ass, if you know what I mean.
It smelled like apple dye.
But like, I don't know. I want things to be really just random. And, if I come up with an idea 5 minutes before a show starts, we'll see what happens. Like originally tonight, but before, Mitch was an idiot and opened his can early, I wanted to start the show with everybody cracking open a cold one. A cold La Croix. But, like, just weird stuff like that. I think the topics are what's going to keep things interesting.
Right.
The spinning wheel will be a fun little mechanism.
Shout out to Buck.
But yeah, thank you for that question, Eli.
Grafton did not appreciate it.
No, I did not. So the kinds of time. I mean, I don't know how much. I mean, I think we've. First of all, I think this has been a pretty decent little like.
really
has.
I think we've introduced things.
Yeah.
I've introduced this podcast pretty well.
But I would ask, what kind of topics can we expect? Are we doing like story time? Like, hey everyone, bring some dumb shit from when you were a child and think about it and talk about this dumb thing you did when you were a kid. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
Or are we doing like, so here's what happened a week ago, and I'm wondering how everyone feels about
Cue
the
the sad
implications
music.
of yeah.
I think a really cool topic would be, like, you bring certain individuals on who are very versed in a particular field and really passionate about a particular field, and then you
Yes.
have them tell the story of how they got into it.
Wow.
That might be fun.
You asked to bring some like ideas, and one idea there's one podcast that my brother showed me a long time ago, and it was a sports podcast, but this
sporty.
But
so we should talk about sports.
No,
15 seconds.
So how
podcast-
about them Packers?
Shut up.
Sorry, you like continue.
this podcast, this one episode, they just sat down and they told this pitch for a film that they had, and I think it would be really fun to
we pitched
like,
a film?
well, like to like pitch a story or like create a story on the spot in like 10 minutes.
Wow.
something like
That's
that.
really cool.
Yeah, that's fun.
I think like that.
Or like the Lotsie thing that they do, like the My Movie thing,
Oh, My
the
Movie, My
improv
Movie.
thing, where we come up with like a set of letters like TWS,
6.
and then you have to come up with a movie about it, like
We could do stuff like that.
twin walls
Improv show.
subside.
This is the new Lotsie podcast.
You should name this episode "The Birth of a Podcast," since it's pretty much just riffing about ideas.
All right. So
So if you're interested about any of those things, keep
Like-
tuning in.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
hit that bell, motherfucker.
Or we should do like an ASMR episode. Whoop whoop.
To answer your question,
LaCroix pouring.
that is so dumb. I want to have a variety of both. Like basically, my favorite podcast. It's set up sort of differently than this one. It's very much like a roundtable discussion, but every guest brings a topic of conversation. So somebody brings a random story. Somebody brings this fact about President Trump and the amount of times he looks at his phone and
Tweet something.
That's my
something
favorite.
dumb.
Let's make it hyper political.
or just whatever, and it's just bounces back and forth all the time. There is a somewhat serious one that I want to cover in the next several episodes, like down the line, and it's like creatives and how they deal with depression, or maybe they don't. And I want to do that more as like an interview, where I interview one person, another person, then we all come together and then talk about it. I think that would be really interesting, just because that's how this shit got started. And nice things can happen from bad places, and I think that's important to notice that. But I do want to do like weird ones, like so I fell down the stairs and cracked my tailbone. Has anybody else had weird ass stories like that?
Does anyone else have a cracked tailbone? Can I see it?
Bump your tails, everybody. So yeah, you can expect anything from serious topics to whack ass roller coasters.
Roller coaster simulations.
We do an episode on a roller coaster.
Well, Ethan, you still play, what is it?
Roller coaster, the game from like 1998, Roller Coaster Tycoon, the original.
Amen.
Yeah, that is the one game I play.
What about Thrillville though? Anyone?
I remember
Thrillville
it
was
from
dope.
when I was a
It was
child.
Anyone?
bad.
Thrillville? No, Thrillville slapped. That was so fun.
I liked it.
I just
I had a
always
good time on that game.
I always come back to RTC, man. Wait, RCT, Roller Coaster Tycoon.
You don't even know. You
I don't even know the
fucking
acronym.
fan.
I was more of a Zoo Tycoon guy, but
Zoo Tycoon
You like
owns.
them animals? You like them
I
dolphins?
I see what
that
I would
glisten
do was
in the
I
water?
wouldn't make a zoo. I would just take a big old thing of fences.
Oh, okay.
I'd take a big old thing of fences, throw a bunch of monkeys in there, and throw a bunch of like tigers in there, and see what would happen.
So what you're saying is that you didn't actually play the game.
It was so much fun though.
So, somebody had something and I cut somebody off. Somebody had something.
I think you were still going.
Yeah, I don't have original ideas.
Hi, sorry, never put me
We're
on
all
this again.
creatives, and we don't have any ideas.
Well, that's a good topic. I'm a creative. How do I create ideas?
How does one?
Idea.
I create ideas by harnessing shadow magic.
Jesus Christ. So I guess the last thing I kind of want to talk about is it goes back to the future a little bit, but it's to like what you can expect moving forward as this podcast births itself and grows
As a listener?
very slowly. As a listener, yeah. So the way I kind of pitched it to Mitch that very first time, very ambiguously, is that PALS is sort of a parent. It's almost like a parent company, and it has a couple of small children who wander off and do their own kind of thing. Fall down the stairs and break their tailbones.
Run around in traffic.
So the first one is this, the PALS podcast. It's the podcast of PALS where PALS get together and they're being pals. You just took 3 shots.
That was a lot.
And then the next one that I'm hoping to start this summer because the amount of logistics is going to be insane. But I love video games. I absolutely love playing those good videos and they move around. So I want to do like a Let's Play series with the pals.
Okay, gamer.
If you
Nerd. Can we
You
have?
absolute fucking nerd.
Can we have a roller coaster tycoon episode?
Oh wow! And it's just Ethan, and he sits there and he goes, "So now I'm gonna place the red track."
You're not even on it. It's literally just Ethan.
No, he doesn't even like do any audio for it. It's just him sitting there playing it.
And it's like recorded on my phone, pointed at the screen. No joke though. If you want me to come do a solo episode with just me playing roller coaster, I'm there. And that's the only one I'll do.
And that show will be called. This is the PALS podcast. That show will be called PALS Play.
Okay, if
Ooh,
Ethan is
spice.
doing a solo episode on Roller Coaster Tycoon, I want a solo episode on SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Dude, no, can we co-op that game because I love that
Okay,
game.
we can
That's a
co-op
great
that
game.
game.
Yes,
Great
we'll get
game.
the old. I'll dust the PS2 out of the cargo
Out of the
unit.
dust chamber.
You see that door over there? That's the dust chamber. Don't go in there.
Don't touch that door.
He touches the door. So I think what we've created in this birth of a podcast is just, let's see, we're at 52 minutes, probably 2 minutes of decent audio and 50 minutes of laughter.
Great laugh recordings for all your.
So Ethan, you're a sound designer, sound man. What you can do is you can just take this clip, and if you ever need laughing, you just put that in your library.
All male laughing though.
Believe it or not, there are better places to get the sound of 4 men laughing.
I don't even want to know where.
My dust closet.
His own dust chamber.
It's full of laughter. I want it to stop.
Oh my god, that's
That's
creepy.
really
It's
creepy.
full of dust and laughter.
Those are the 2 ingredients for a good dust chamber.
So that's in the round scope of things. That's what you as a listener can expect moving on. As you can see, PALS at being at fuck.
You got it.
Fuck social media at PALS being PALS. You can find us on Instagram.
Underscore.
Oh, thank you. PALS being PALS _.
That's on both Twitter and Instagram, correct?
Thank you. Yes, it is. Good Greg.
Soon to
there.
be a Facebook page. Sometime.
I don't know. I hate Facebook.
I
so.
also hate
You
Facebook.
gotta get some of them people.
Here's the thing. I feel like anyone who's going to listen to this podcast is not going to find it on Facebook.
I would rather have it
Never know,
linked
though.
in before I had a Facebook. Does anybody have anything else?
Shout out our sponsor, Facebook.
Mark Zuckerberg,
Thank you, Mark
is
Zuckerberg.
listening.
Shout out Mark.
He's our first listener, actually.
Wouldn't that be wild?
He calls. Listen, I've deleted all your accounts. I've leaked your credit card to everyone.
And we're like, but Mark, we don't have a Facebook account. We only have Twitter and Instagram. And then he's like,
Gotcha,
so I know things.
Oh yeah, so Eli's telling me to introduce everybody one more time. Once again, I'm your host that's very much looking forward to this fucking show. Oh, got it. He's talking to me more via words in his mouth.
Words in my mouth.
Talking via words.
My name's Parker Reil. You can find me at Parker_Reil on Twitter and Instagram. If not, just type in my name. You'll see my schnoz pull up there somewhere. And to my left is Ethan Grafton.
Hi, I'm Ethan, and you can find me only on Twitter because screw everything else. I am Spicy Maestro. You can also find me on Spotify if you want to.
Yes, plug
Yes,
it, plug it.
Spotify.
I released an EP in March.
There's also a music video.
It's all right, yeah, and you can also find, if you just type in my name on YouTube or whatever else you like, you can find some goodness.
No, don't move on. I have a question for you.
Sure.
So, can we expect any new music anytime soon?
Yeah, there should be some new music in either April or May. There'll be an album.
Everybody mark that on your calendars. April, May.
It'll be full length this time. Last time it was an EP. This time it's full length.
Mark on your calendars, April or May.
You just
Ethan
highlight the
Grafton.
entire 2-month span waiting.
Maybe.
We're challenging ourselves with more music this time, and
That's
it's very
good.
scary.
So,
It's exciting.
When it comes out,
Yep.
we should have you on.
Sure.
And we'll talk about it.
That sounds
we'll talk about our
great.
favorite tracks.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Until then, he will not be on again.
I have an idea. When it comes out, we have an episode that is just a stream of the whole album.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
Copyright
It's like
free.
yeah. And then I can use your airtime to
Plug it.
Plug.
And well, we can just have like a live listening and being
plug.
like, dude, this sounds dope. Just gassing you up, dude.
Yeah.
Or if it
Gas and
sounds
slash.
like garbage, we're just like, wow, you
Gas or
fucking
slash.
suck.
That would be tight.
Good try, buddy.
Remember to plug that merch. Link in bio. Next.
Mitch.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, this has been. I don't even know how to. What do I say? My name is Mitchell Kennard Francis.
Job.
Like I said before, you can follow me on Twitter at Mitch K Francis or on Instagram at Mitchell Kennard Francis, all lowercase. Thank you very much.
Eli.
I am Eli Hoefer, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram
Hoef?
at Eli Hoefer. So, there you go.
I just want to thank everybody one more fucking time for being here. This has been an absolute thralling blast of a time.
Thralling blast. It's just been a thick chug of podcast.
I'm at Cane's. I'm in the line. I need the thick jug of tea, please. So, one more time, I'm your host, Parker Reil. Very much looking forward to this. If you want to find us, you can hit us up at that at PalsBeingPals _ on Twitter or Instagram. We'll be posting little biddies, little clippies, little viddies, little audios. So, this has been the very first, very special episode of the PALS podcast. And I'll leave you with this. Just remind yourselves every day to just be a little bit happy. Just to smile a little smile and remember that things will get better.
And be sure to plug merch link in bio.
Hit that bell, motherfuckers!
I'm going to go lock myself in the dust chamber.
Dust chamber with the laughs.
All right, I think that's a cut.